they need to give you an advice when they meet you, right? Like, why?
I think the problem is now is that with so much information being available and so many people now having a presence online, and people associating themselves with fitness even though they've had no career in it previously or never done any training in it, it's kind of a fashionable thing to do. So people want to be associated with it, and also everyone's an expert, I find as well. But
it's like, how much more you know more than me, and it's just like becoming that.
So have you done this course, have you done this, and it's like the basics are the same as they were 25, 30 years ago. It's just different spins and different ways of doing things now. And I think the difference in my experience, and we've talked about this before, but I think there's much more reliance now on like data and people actually being able to produce results that are actually tangible, rather than just I feel a bit better or I look a bit fitter or I've lost a bit of weight, whatever it may be. That's probably the biggest change in the industry that I've seen, but that's also been mirrored with the progression of technology as well, and the fact that everyone now has got data available on smartphones and everything as well.
Yeah, the rise of technology, wearables, Fitbits, Garmin's, Apple Watches, you can track anything and everything.
I think it was one of the highest in terms of percentages as a consumer product that was bought for a gift. I think it's one of the highest percentages that you'll see, whether it's for whatever period of the year, whether it's birthdays, Christmas, whatever. They are bought massively now.
It seems like the perfect gift as well, you know, like it seems like on that price range.
Well, you're trying to tell someone
really good.
Yeah, there is that. Yeah, of course.
I think there's system overload as well. I really think if you track too many things, what's the point? You know, track 3 or 4 things that are relevant to you and stick to those. Whether they be health, fitness, aesthetics, whatever. You know, too much information. It's hard to digest and then carry on tracking. One of the biggest things off the back of all of this is the rise in sales of things like protein and health bars and
supplements.
Do you know the vitamins and supplements market is over 500 million in the UK? It's going up every year.
You know, we shouldn't be talking about our competitors or naming them, but one competitor in the fitness space that we have.
Yes.
You know, they are about to launch something called Amplify, which is tailored supplements.
So whoever's handling the information is driving the consumer behaviour. So and that's a massive change, because people now won't think twice about using supplements, vitamins, protein, you know, those types of nutritional.
But you know something, I always have this philosophy. You can tell the consumer or the customer all the things they should and shouldn't be doing, but coming at the other end and actually seeing that change or inducing that behavior change and actually becoming tangible change, a lifestyle change, that's a whole new space that's behavioral science.
There is a wonderful graph on behavioural change. I don't know if you've seen it, but it takes 9 months to instill full behavioural change. If you thought, and the graph drops dramatically. After 1,000 people in the first 2 weeks, you've lost most of them, and the graph just dips to 1 or 2. So we did a lot of research on this at Nuffield. So we started to create products that gave a person the empowerment to do things, and then had regular check-ins. And the reason, you know, if you have a regular check-in that's not at the end of the year, you're coming around to do it again, 3 months' time, you're more focused on that 3 months. Then you've got a way of talking to someone else about how well you've done, how you've checked in, and that starts to promote better behavioural change. So you've got to keep the regular touch points, you've got to have regular support, and keep it simple.
I feel my philosophy about this is that you need to link it with some reward that they would get momentarily. And the best reward that I have read about when it comes to inducing behavior change is all about the element of community. You know, when you have that kind of social reward where you're actually part of someone else's type of, you're part of something bigger than just you. You know? You're a part of a group that they are all on the same mission in which they all want to lose weight.
I remember when I did the marathon last year. The groups on Strava, you know, London Marathon first timers on Facebook, that was hugely influential in terms of keeping my spirits up. You know, running at 10 o'clock at night, doing 12 miles in the rain at -2 degrees.
what would get you all the way, you know, like even to train for it, to prepare yourself to it, and then to actually finish it to the finish line, it's like a miracle, isn't it?
It is a huge investment of your life. I would only do it once because it took me the best part of, 6 months of my life where I was running 40, 50 miles a week at the peak of training, but I was having to come home from work at 10 o'clock at night and run into the night. You just can't keep doing it. But those types of influences and support groups were massive.
The community side is massive.
Yeah.
You see it particularly when you're talking about, I think running clubs have always played a big part. People preparing for, 5, 10Ks, half marathons. You can see that there's been a good steep history. But I've seen more massive over the last 5, 10 years, things like the CrossFit industry. People have never ever would have even conceived of doing something like that before. But because they're part of a community and everyone does it together and everyone helps each other learn and perfect technique and all that kind, it's not just an individual walking into something going, I have no idea what I'm doing. They're surrounded by people who were at their stage, who have now done it for 6 months or a year or whatever, and it forms that
Do you know what? That is one of the strongest communities.
Yeah.
My wife's a CrossFit coach.
Yeah.
I was member number 3 at our CrossFit box.
Yeah.
And we still socialise with all of those people because you train with them, you socialise with them.
Yeah.
Really tight-knit groups.
Yeah.
It really is quite a powerful support network.
As much as there is a movement towards personalizing and having that one-to-one type of approach with your clients, but still, clients will always want to be part of at least a group of a number of people where they are all the same.
People like swapping numbers.
Yeah.
People are like, oh, my report was this. What was yours? You see that a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. I think also as well, it depends what level you want to reach in terms of your own goals. You'll get some people that go into fitness and they're like, well, I want to compete. I want to be Mr. This or compete in this competition. Other people, it's about something. Exactly. It's about belonging to something, doing something regularly. Ultimately, they might not have the sort of the staying power to do something individually before because they maybe haven't got that dedication. But when you're surrounded by other people, you're not going to let me down this week, all that kind of element of being involved in something that's group orientated, you're probably far more likely to sustain it for a lot longer period of time. So I think that's probably where that community kicks in far more.
And that's what gets me really excited about the concept of GFIT. If this concept was to really scale in the future, I think we could really run a completely new program that could be subscription based. We could run those GFIT classes based on our users' genetic makeup, and we can run them in different cities. We can really get those. I think we discussed something at some point, Harry, where we were talking about running a program where there's an application, people starting on it on the beginning of the quarter, and they go into the program for 8 weeks. We can really.
I think that's the best way of us coming into that market, because having people that are signed up with us and we tailor different classes to different people and have different classes like that, that would be the best way for us to.
It's so simple, it's a very simple concept. Power versus endurance. The only difference is that you would be admitted to one group or the other based on your.
But even then, it is still part of belonging to a community, and that is, I think, what's really important. That's what motivates people to keep going.
Yeah,
that's why you see everyone really motivated at the beginning of the year. Christmas finishes, everyone's signing up to the gym, trying to get fit, all that stuff, and then it drops off. Sort of February, March time, there's no one in the gym anymore. But I think something like a GFIT class will really keeps people motivated.
How's your fitness going, by the way? You're following your plan, aren't you?
It's good. It's hard work.
How long is it since you've been doing it? When did you start your plan?
Started 3.5 weeks ago.
Okay.
It's good. It's really good stuff. But it's a lot of hard work. It's the calorie intake.
That's the dedication, isn't it? Yeah.
When you run a marathon and look at calorie intake, I was grazing 5,500 a day, and I was hungry when I went to bed.
Yeah.
I could eat anything and everything I wanted, and I was about 6 kilos down what I am now when I ran that. That is a lot of food, I can tell you.
Dedication indeed.
Yeah.
I don't have the time to prepare the food.
It's not just that.
That's something that I hate about
food preparation is a really important thing in
Yeah.
fitness. It's
Everything.
massively
It's
Everything. It's not just
So-
what you eat, it's when you eat it.
So
based on your metabolism.
me and the wife prepare bulk foods at the weekend. So like a really healthy soup or chicken couscous dinners. You know, we'll cook up enough for like 4 or 5 lunches or dinners and stuff. And then we'll it's there. If it's there, you'll have it.
Yeah.
If it's not, you'll reach for something that's easy, right? We'll pick something up on the way home. So it is about preparation, planning, buying, using it, finding different recipes to keep you.
Yeah, I think I'm a bit far from the recipe stage. I'm still gathering tools, you know, like I'm still like
Which
getting
pizza
my
you're gonna
pots,
have?
all these bits and pieces. Just,
You need a good dietitian in your life.
With your training, Harry, do you train generally in the mornings? Is it a morning?
Yeah, usually I'll train before work.
Okay, because that's when your metabolism again is its fastest.
Yeah.
So if you're trying to maintain and grow,
Yeah.
looking at muscle growth, it's actually harder to do it in the morning than it is in the evening because your metabolism at that point is slowing down. You're not burning through the same energy resources and calories you normally would be, and it's actually easier to pack it on there. But obviously, if it doesn't fit in with your lifestyle, these are all things that are challenges as well. But the good thing is on the flip side, if you are training early, then you can balance out all those calories through the day, and you're not then having to eat them to train again in the evening. So
I did hear that a lot from my one of the personal trainers that I had half a year ago or so.
But however, from my experience, you do put on a lot of lean muscle gain from training in the morning. So although you might put more mass on in the evenings from evening training because of that slower metabolism and metabolic rate, but you'll still get it.
Usually
it's trying the body will adapt to it.
Yeah, I'm trying to usually have a breakfast before.
Yeah, it's
like
really
an
important.
hour before I go.
Yeah.
Which really helps, and then like a shake after. So by 9 o'clock, I've already had 1,000 calories and worked out, which is like a considerable amount towards the goal of like 3,500.
Yeah,
I'm trying to get to, but
and your body will naturally adapt and hang on to it more. It will know that's the time you need it most because that's what it's conditioned to do. So you'll still get brilliant results from doing that, which is good. So
So exciting fact that I just realized, we have 2 PTs in house now.
Wow.
Jonathan and Jessica.
Jessica
Both
PT.
qualified level 3 PTs.
Excellent, there we go.
Yeah.
When we start our first class. A few bits of weight in here, move the table.
Yeah, I'm used to doing that during lockdown, lugging weights all over the place, all over the county. It's nice that everything's reopening now and people are getting back to a normal way of thinking about it and routines and things, and structure can kick in a bit more, which is great, especially with what we offer and what we do as well. It's a good alignment.
No, it's a very, very good timing, to be honest with you. There's a lot of things that are changing the landscape of how things have been delivered before and how things will start to really be going forward. But yeah, really great discussion. I really enjoyed it.
Excellent.
Yeah. Thank you, Harry, for hosting.
Yes, thanks Harry. Well, join you for Harry's social hour
Yes.
this time next week.
to it.